Hi everyone, welcome into the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex for the Acrisure Playbook. Okay, round 3 with the Baltimore Ravens divisional matchup. How do you win the game? Listen, playing in games like this, playing in an opponent 3 times in a row, here's what the most important aspects of it was for us if we were going to win. Do the things you have to do really well, consistently enough to beat your divisional opponent. It's not going to be a bunch of tricks, you're going to have wrinkles, yes. But do the things consistently that will help you win, and that is ultimately comes down to like winning at the line of scrimmage, especially against their 2 dynamic players, Lamar and Derrick Henry. So let's take a look first of all. Defensively, they actually did this a couple times during the game. They did it very well, especially against Lamar. They did a good job of defending him. How they pushed the pocket is one of the most critical aspects of defending Lamar. You have to almost create a wall. You can't give him an escape route vertically right away. If you do that, he'll devastate you. You have to push him laterally. So they do a great job here. They push a wall, no escape routes vertically. Now they push him laterally if he escapes. Now the next part of this, at the top of the screen, great job in zone coverage. Everybody's accounted for. Deep defender, outside defender, inside defender. Even the crosser is going to be accounted for in this zone coverage. So Lamar really doesn't have anywhere to go with the football initially. That's why he's going to look for an escape route. So if he does escape, you gotta make him go lateral. Well, that's exactly where he goes. Now, when you stop it here, here's a bunch of things that the defense did really well. First of all, the pursuit angles. Even from a defensive line perspective, they help you get pursuit angles. Even though he's faster than you, when he has to give ground and go laterally, you got a chance to get him to the sideline. That's the first part. Your back end. Everybody's done a good job there. You got your outside, vertical, and inside defenders accounted for all of his people. Now, if he's going to beat you in these situations, he's got to make a ridiculous throw. Now, some of you will go, well, he does make those. He does. However, I would much rather have Lamar Jackson try to make these type of throws in the game versus be clean in the pocket and people wide open. So if they can win the line of scrimmage consistently or better than they did last time, great chance to win. Here's a great example of Derrick Henry winning at the line of scrimmage. Now, they didn't do that enough in the second matchup. That's why I'm showing these things. This is where they got to get better. Great job right here. Okay, every gap is accounted for. You even have set the edges on both sides. You've got inside, and you made Derrick Henry do the one thing he really doesn't do very well, his feet. If you look at his feet, he's already discombobulated, and he's starting to move lateral. When you get Derrick Henry going lateral, defensively, you have won. What you don't want to do is give him a point of attack and let him go downhill at you, attack the line of scrimmage, and get going, which happened too many times in the second matchup. Make him go lateral. When he does that, he's just not the same kind of runner. So they have to do that better and more consistently. Now, offensively, this first play is an example of what they did schematically to handle the passing game with Russell Wilson. They did a variety of looks, but on this one, what they do is they rush 3, and then they create 2 spies, and they play man. So at the top of his drop, Russell Wilson has nowhere to throw the football, okay? That's the first thing to notice. The next, they only rush 3. They push a wall, though, in his face, and that's really important when a guy is 5'10". You try to push it in his face and not give him any access, A, to run, or B, to throw. Then they had 2 spies. They had a spy on the outside, on both sides of him. No matter where he escapes, somebody was accounting for him. So he does escape. He's like, nobody throw the ball, let me try to make something. Now when he escapes, well, there's one spy, the other guy's in pursuit, and there's nowhere to throw the football. So eventually Russell Wilson has to throw the football away. How do you beat this conceptually? Because they did a really good job, they did it different ways. This is how you beat it conceptually. They just got to do this more consistently than they did in the second matchup. At the top of the drop, Russell Wilson has to identify things pre-snap and get rid of the football quick. Here's a great example of that. Snap the ball, top of the drop, fake pitch. He's already getting in position to throw it to your slot wide receiver. I mean, this is how you have to identify things. This is how you have to recognize things quick and decisively. He did this several times in the game, so he's just got to do more of it. So he does that, ball's ready to come out, and you got a big completion. That's how you beat the type of pressure they're bringing. That time they pushed the wall with 5 guys. Here's another great example. Got motion and a shift. Once everybody gets set, pre-snap read, it looks like a cover 2 initially before we snap the ball. But when we snap the ball and he gets to the top of the drop, he stays there. In fact, the linebacker works away, which is interesting because usually he works to the 3 receiver side, but he might have worked to the open field just because there's more space there and you got 2 receivers there, or he might have made a mistake. Either way, you capitalize on that mistake. Russell Wilson, they've pushed the wall, give him no escape route, and he's ready to go with the football. All you have to do is identify the route at the top, which ends up being a post. Backside safety is too wide, and the routes run perfectly, and the ball comes out, and you got a big-time completion, almost a touchdown. That's how you beat what the Ravens are doing to you. So both sides of the ball. If you're better and more consistent at winning at the line of scrimmage in those ways, that's how you beat the Ravens the third time.